Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mood Booster podcast.
Firstly, happy 1st of December. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas month, everyone.
What did you just call me?
Anyway, welcome to episode 37 of the Mood Booster podcast.
This is a special Christmas treat for you. We are coming in strong on the 1st of December, straight away with the goodies. This is how to find joy in your food, reflecting on influencer misinformation and toxic diet culture. And we are joined by the one and only James Brash.
This is an unbelievably exciting guest episode. We've been waiting for James to be on the podcast for months now. I know you've at least been following him for ages and ages, and then I quickly got put onto his content as well.
Yep.
As you might have heard from the title, he's really big into tearing down this sort of influencer culture on making us feel bad about what we're eating and that sort of misinformation that's online.
Yeah, he's a registered dietitian. I mean, what doesn't he do and what doesn't he know? He is so incredibly knowledgeable. He is a registered dietitian. He has 2 bachelor's degrees and he's now doing his MRes, so his master's in clinical research at King's College.
Yeah.
Above all of that, he's also still working in an ICU hospital looking after patients in his practice. So
he works with people in critical care day in and day out, all about nutrition. So he knows his stuff, basically. Yeah. He's a really, really smart guy. And he comes onto the podcast and basically tears apart a lot of myths that we think we know about food.
Yeah, because basically the angle from him and why we align with him is that a lot of this misinformation can be really distressing to us and just make a lot of what should be joyful in food just less of that and kind of stressful and kind of just, yeah, I don't know where to look. I don't know what to do. All of these people are telling me what I shouldn't eat and what I should be doing, all of these things. He's just here to help empower us, empower you, and give you advice to spot misinformation, but know where to find helpful and accurate information too.
Exactly. And then lastly, he also gives us some tools and tips on how to really structure our diet to actually what is the better diet, what's the better path to go on to have a better relationship with food as well. It's a phenomenal episode. We said it was one of our favorite guest ones as well, if we can even say that. We think that you'll love it too.
We know you will.
We know you will, exactly. Yes.
Enjoy.
Merry
Christmas. In this podcast, we share evidence-based tools, tips, and advice to help you boost your mood, improve your well-being, and find joy in your everyday.
We talk about life's highs, lows, and everything in between with real stories and reflections from our own journeys as well.
With pillars rooted in introspection, presence, gratitude, and community, this is the home of well-being and joy.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hello, everyone.
Buongiorno.
Welcome back to the Mood Booster podcast.
Welcome in.
It's been a while since we've recorded, hasn't it?
It has been a while for you, or for us. It's
been a little bit of time, isn't it? Welcome to episode 37.
37, which is 37.
Almost forgot. We are here with James Brash. Welcome, James. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Our official guest of the week. Very, very exciting. Elephant in the room before we get started and we show James all the love. Yes, if you're watching, we are wearing Christmas hats because, yes, it is the 1st of December. Merry Christmas.
24 sleeps until Crimbo, so you know what it is.
Feliz Navidad.
I'm ready.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
There's bells on mine, so if you hear it, don't worry about it.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Well, welcome everyone. It's great to have you here. As Marcus just said, we have our guest of December. Super, super excited for this one. James, thanks for joining us. This is an incredible one.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited for this. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling?
Yeah, great. Never better.
Awesome.
Never better.
10 a.m.
Amazing.
Well, for those who don't know James, I think we should give a lovely introduction. James, first off, registered dietitian, I should say. That is your sort of role now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my real job.
The roster is quite long. We've got quite the qualification list. So, masters in psychology, right?
That's a bit... In Scotland, we call them masters, but they're just undergraduates.
Oh, here we go. It's falls apart from the beginning. Falls apart.
Take it.
Yeah.
So,
Psychology
background.
Yeah.
You're doing a Masters of Research in Clinical Research, right?
Research, yep.
In King's College London.
Yeah.
KCL.
That's huge. In KCL.
KCL, big
Amazing.
up. That's amazing.
Yeah. James actually works in the ICU in the cardiothoracic. Is that correct?
Cardiothoracic intensive care unit. Wow.
In the intensive care unit. So basically he deals with people in critical care, basically day in, day out, which is huge. James's whole background is in dietetics, nutrition. His knowledge is immense for this field. It's why we wanted to really get him on. We have a bit of a funny story, but yeah, everything that you do in that your knowledge spans is very impressive. So I know that Mark's, genuinely have been wanting to get you on for a while now. So super excited for this. I think we should probably give a bit of background into why you're here or how it actually came about.
Well, firstly, just for context, we are, given all of that background today, talking about finding joy in your food and reflecting on influencer misinformation and the toxic diet culture currently. And that leads us on to the background of why you're here and why we wanted you here, which I know you know, but for the listener, I was a bit of a fan of James for quite a while.
Not bad.
I was sending Charlie all his videos and his TikToks like, Charlie, look at this one, it's really good.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Spam.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically, I just absolutely admire James and his your brazen, I would say. I hope that's okay to say. Your brazen approach to challenging misinformation and somewhat of a challenging or troublesome or potentially toxic diet culture and influencer culture of this is what you should stop eating, this is what you should strip out of your life, this is this, that, and the third, which I just saw your videos and was like, this is super refreshing seeing someone without sort of loads of emotion and loads of, he said, she said, just plain facts. This is the information you need to know. And this is why potentially this should be challenged, but not in kind of a, like I say, getting into the nitty gritty. It's just presenting to the audience, this is how you can actually understand what people are saying or potentially be empowered to challenge what they're saying and how you can spot, misinformation and all these things. So the funny side of it is Charlie, we know we've spoken about this in episodes before. Charlie hates seed oils. He only eats off wooding chopping boards.
Not quite.
This isn't in the diet realm, but no Bluetooth headphones. He's now starting to eat his dinner doing a squat?
Deep Russian squat.
Deep Russian squat.
Soon come. I just think flexibility and intentionality with food. It's a whole thing.
Some might say.
There you go. Exactly.
I'll not be doing it, but I can get behind it.
100%. But yeah, it is fair to say that a lot of your, at least online personality, is challenging this misinformation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the funny side of it was I was sending Charlie these videos that you were like, there's seed oils, there is some evidence to it, but really there's just so much sort of vilifying a food group, which is just so unnecessary. And I was just there like, told you, Charlie. Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate.
No, it's fine. Hey, listen, it happens. When you go for the sun, you get in the firing line, whatever that phrase is. Yeah. Icarus gets his wings burnt, whatever it is. So.
You're great at phrases, aren't you?
Thank you very much. It's the idiom central over here.
Anyways.
We are going to get into exactly your whole misinformation, why you're so against or for challenging misinformation. We always do this thing though, just to get to know you a little bit more before we go into the sort of nitty gritty of it. We have a couple of questions for you.
Perfect.
If that's all right.
Fire away.
I shall start on the first one if that's all right. James, what is one thing that you do to boost your mood when things get tough?
I'm a big fan of like organizing things that force me to get out of my house. Because if left to my own devices when things get tough, I will just stay in my house. And that's something that feels really comfortable, but actually doesn't do anyone any... Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes you need it. But actually, if I make plans to go and do something, like low mood hates a moving target. Yeah. So you're just like being out of the house, doing something. 100%. And like, yeah, that is something, especially in the winter, I found really helpful, making plans with my friends. And especially as you are, I'm saying like becoming an adult, as if I've not been an adult for the past like 12 years.
Are we ever?
But just like it's harder, you like lose touch with your friends, you don't live in the same cities anymore. It takes a lot more effort to maintain your adult friendships. So just doing that, I would say making plans to like get out of the house, go and see my friends, that always helps.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Completely valid.
Good question.
What are you doing these days?
I think similar in terms of the intentionality.
Yeah.
I think both of us, we did an episode on speaking about winter, which I think you mentioned as well. And from that, I've personally been trying to be so much more intentional with my moves and like how I conduct my days in the winter, because it's so easy to just fall back into like the dark days. Okay, get up, don't go outside because it's still dark, then don't end up seeing the outside world until if at all, in the whole day until
Till
like
March.
basically. So I'm trying to be just really intentional on that front with okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go for a walk. Yes, it's dark, but it's gonna do something to my brain and at least get me awake, and then the fresh air is gonna do something. And trying to just be a bit more intentional with that, like looking after myself. I wouldn't say the making plans just because of being so busy and all of those things. But maybe actually the opposite of trying to, like last night I had a bath, which was nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Someone came over. It was lovely. I had a friend, an old uni friend who I've not seen for ages. She came over, had such a lovely evening, and then she left, and it was still like 9, and I was like, I'm gonna have a bath. So I had a bath.
Fantastic use of free will.
Exactly.
Free will is being used well. Nice.
And it was so wholesome. So I think just being more intentional throughout the winter.
Nice.
Bath maxi in the winter.
Charlie?
For me, it's far more simple, but movement, go on a run, stretching, whatever it is. It's really simple, but like even if I'm having it does work. It does work. Like whatever's happening, just get the heart rate up and get moving. It's simple. Really quick fix. It can even be like a 5-10 minute push-up routine. It's that simple for me. That just helps me, gets my mind clearer, and then helps me prep for whatever I'm going for. So it's simple, but movement for me is always a thing.
Nice.
Humans aren't really complicated, are they?
They're not.
We don't want a lot.
We're simple creatures.
Sunlight
Based.
Exactly. We are.
Well, my question for you is, in the spirit of mood boosting, what's one thing you're working on for yourself at the moment, and to look after yourself, but a project or whatever it might be?
Aprendiendo
Sí.
español.
Mi amigo.
Comprende, sí.
Comprendo.
No.
I'm asking you, do you understand?
Okay.
Oh,
Los
that's advanced.
Vale.
That's level 2.
Yeah, we all are. Randomly.
We are,
Everyone
indeed.
learning Spanish.
There we are.
My masters that I'm doing put on like free Spanish courses for their postgraduate students, which is mad. And I just like took the opportunity, and it's great. I've wanted to learn Spanish for my entire life, and never really got around to it. So here we are.
There we go.
Yeah, enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, I likewise. I think when we went for like a run a few weeks ago, and we just like randomly found out we were all doing Spanish at the same time, and we all started roughly the same week as well, and we're all just
So
like,
funny.
great, let's go.
Yeah.
Vamos a la playa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get me
A la
there.
playa.
Get me there.
Yeah.
English
Well,
accent.
thank you for those answers. Very, very nice. Just to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we really want to dive straight into the problem. Of
Yeah.
why we're here. Food fear, the wellness machine. We sort of coined it a bit. The whole wellness influencer side of things. We really want to establish why there's so much confusion, all like in this space as well. You obviously spend a lot of time online challenging this misinformation. It's a huge part of your, not even character, but just who you are and what you're doing, as well as what Marcus has said. What are some of the biggest myths that you see spreading right now in this space?
I think, I'm really sorry, but one of them is seed oils.
There we go.
One of them is seed oils.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that is cyclical in nature when it comes to like the wellness industry and wellness influencers who demonize different ingredients, and it just changes with the seasons, changes with the phases of the moon. But seed oils are the ones that have come under fire recently, and I think that a lot of it comes down to, it's kind of linked with ultra processed foods, right? So a lot of people are now becoming aware of ultra processed foods and what that means, and how much of our diet and our food landscape are made up of ultra processed foods. And they both kind of go hand in hand, because seed oils are cheap and they don't taste very much. So they're a very easy ingredient to include in ultra processed foods. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, that we're seeing that adults in the UK on average get 60% of the calories from ultra processed foods, right? That's a huge problem. And me and a wellness influencer would agree on that. But I think what we would disagree on is like the causes of the problem and the solutions to the problem. So when it comes to seed oils and ultra processed foods, if you switched out seed oils and ultra processed foods for butter, that doesn't make the food any healthier. Like, it's still devoid of any meaningful nutrition apart from sugar, salt, and fat. It's still widely available. It's still cheap to buy. So focusing on these ingredients, although it can seem like it can simplify things a lot. And so it's a nice way for influencers to kind of focus on one thing, and I think people enjoy that it takes away the ambiguity of things and it takes away the nuance of things. So that's part of it. I think a lot of people say that seed oils are bad because they're in ultra processed foods, but I follow this other guy. He's a student dietitian, but I think he's graduated now, and he always says, yeah, but cars are dangerous when you crash them. And it's like the same sort of idea. It's like if you're consuming an ultra processed food that's got seed oils in it, it's not the seed oils that are making that unhealthy. And there's actually a really good amount of evidence to show that consuming or replacing saturated fat in the diet, like from butter and ghee, with unsaturated fats like rapeseed oil or sunflower oil or vegetable oil can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and reduce the risk of stroke. Jeez. So it's not, we're in a bit of a pickle because most people are getting all of their seed oils from ultra processed foods, not from roasting vegetables in rapeseed oil, or not from like replacing butter with like a plant-based spread or whatever. So it's more the context that these kind of foods are being eaten in. Omega-6 gets a lot of flack. I know we spoke before about like the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, which was like a big thing in the research before. It's kind of fallen out of fashion now because we've got so much more research that shows that sufficient omega-6 in a healthy diet can actually be really good for you, can be healthy. And improving your omega-3 to 6 ratio can also be improving or increasing the amount of omega-3 that you eat, right? So from oily fish, or even from things like rapeseed oil has a omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of 2:1. So it's actually quite a good ratio.
Not that bad.
Butter doesn't have any omega-3 in it, and it also contains omega-6. So it's like replacing seed oils with these other kinds of fats that we know can be detrimental to health if they're consumed in excess.
And just for the listener that doesn't know, the reason seed oils is picked as the villain at the moment is to do with that ratio, right?
A lot of it's to do with the omega-6s. So this is another thing that I think we'll go on to talk about this later, about how people can sound really convincing. And omega-6 is one of those things it's broken down in the body to arachidonic acid. And arachidonic acid is used in the formation of like eicosanoids, so like pro-inflammatory compounds. Leukotrienes and thromboxanes and things like that. So
her.
Those are classic ones.
She's friends with
classic.
You wouldn't know her. I went to a different school.
So they're involved in the production of those pro-inflammatory compounds. So the rationale goes, sorry, ignore me, I've lost a contact lens in my eye.
That's fine.
It's back. If anyone, don't worry, I'm fine. The rationale goes, if you eat more omega-6s, it's broken down into arachidonic acid, which is used in the formation of these pro-inflammatory compounds. But thankfully, the human body is way more complex than that. And you've not got these like single pathways that work. You've got hundreds and thousands of pathways that are working all at the same time. And it's a really good thing that eating more omega-6 doesn't cause systemic uncontrolled inflammatory processes. Because we know that in human experiments, if you feed people up to, I think it's like 1,500 milligrams of arachidonic acid, don't quote me on that, but it's around that, it has no effect on like increasing pro-inflammatory compounds. So these like mechanisms can sound very scientific and sound very convincing, but every mechanism doesn't have a clinical outcome. So like even though pro-inflammatory compounds are made from the breakdown products of omega-6, eating more omega-6 doesn't just increase those inflammatory compounds, because that would be really dangerous. Like your body has fail-safes in place to stop that happening. It has lots of other mechanisms at play there. And every mechanism doesn't have an outcome, but every outcome has an underlying mechanism. So when we're thinking about health and nutrition, we kind of have to zoom out a lot. Like those pathways and those mechanisms can be really helpful in informing further research. But actually, nutrition is complex. There's lots of confounding factors. There's lots of other things that affect the way that food is metabolized and the outcomes that people have when they consume certain foods. So we can look at those mechanisms, but we also have to look at the much longer term, broader clinical outcomes, like over 40, 50, 60 years. If we look at these certain dietary patterns, what are the clinical outcomes? And what we see is that people over 30, 40, 50 years who are consuming less saturated fat and more plant-based fats have improved health outcomes.
It must be quite hard though to measure that, right? Because
Yeah.
the amount of variables that we go through
Exactly.
years.
And that's what gets my back up so much about nutritional research is that people, it's so hard to conduct nutritional research because we are looking longitudinally at these things, and it is so difficult to conduct, and all the confounding factor, like how hard it is to conduct research.
Well, it is, and they're even in the realm of psychology.
Yeah.
You cannot show cause and effect, and I mean you can't really. And
Yeah.
but when there's a trend or like a significant association, that is just that it's an association. It doesn't mean that one the X has caused Y. But because of the simplicity of. And I'm all for 100%. I want this whole thing is about making academia more accessible and breaking that down. But it does come with issues of sometimes in the wrong hands. Then that is then misinterpreted or interpreted as okay, that is gospel and that is fact. And we've now got proof that this is a bad thing. And it's like none of us are in psychology. We're never proving anything. The proof isn't a word we use in psychology, and we can't prove anything. There's an association, which you're like with seed oils, there is that association, fine, but like it doesn't mean like the complexity is and the nuance is still very prevalent and still very much there. So in essence, it's kind of like to just completely ban a whole food group because some data suggests in amongst all of this noisy data with all of these confounding variables that it might be bad. It's like, okay, well, like you said at the beginning, let's zoom out and actually look at there's a bigger picture here.
Yeah, and the problem with these ultra processed foods isn't just the seed oils. Like I said, if you replace the seed oils with a different kind of fat, that's not going to improve anyone's health outcomes. Like guaranteed. So, and it's funny, like you said, science is the scientific method isn't really about proving things. It's just like disproving what you might have thought, but you're never really proving anything, are you? It's just, and that's the more you learn about science, the more you realize that actually we don't know very much.
No, exactly. And it's also that how we rely on science so much, which again, I appreciate that we do, but sometimes at the detriment of like, we think that it's the be all and end all. And actually, as I think one of your videos was saying, like science will change and research and data will change. And in 10 years, I'll probably be this data wrong. that I'm proven wrong, and that's fine. But that's why we should also be taking all of this information with a pinch of salt and not being so sort of emotively telling our followers, you should not be doing this and this is how you should be living your life. Because...
Make sure it's not table salt though, because that's way
oh my god, that
make sure the pinch isn't too
Make sure
big.
the salt is
no more than 6 grams a day,
sea
everyone.
salt, right?
It's so much. I'd just interesting before I go on to like the next sort of so a question for you. I'm just more interested your personal motivation in this. Like what's led you to want to get to this space of empowering people but challenge, because also I guess for context for the listener I will let you answer the question but we didn't say at the beginning, James is also huge on sort of diet equity as well, and making healthy eating equitable, which is currently not, and research into diets equitable and balanced, and also therefore empowered, and all of those things. Given that is the case, and now everyone knows, what has got you into sort of that? And I guess it'd be lovely to hear sort of more.
Just cold hard cash. No, I'm joking.
He's been paid. Big food.
It's big food, Mr. Big Food. I have always, it's been something that has always kind of got my back up, is that kind of like equity. And I can't really explain, I think it genuinely started when you start studying psychology, and I did a lot of I started doing a Bachelor of Science psychology, and then I said, boring, hate this, and then went to like more social psychology side. And I learned so much in my psychology undergraduate about inequality and about prejudice and about stigma, and it was just something that I like really took to. I don't know, it just really got my back up. It really pissed me off, like honestly. It was just something that really pissed me off, and it's something I've never really let go of since then.
Fair enough.
And I've got a bit of a working class chip on my shoulder, and it just is always something that I'm always thinking about when it comes to research. So getting kind of diversifying the kind of people that are doing research,
Yes.
the kind of people that we are doing research with.
Yep.
Confounding factors. Again, like poverty is one of the strongest predictors of health outcomes. Like people have asked me before, like if there's one thing that you could do like in public health overnight, what would you do? And it would just be like, they would expect you to be like, oh, cooking classes at school and like give free healthy food. But it's just like alleviating poverty is one of the best things that we can do to improve health outcomes at a public health level. And so it would be amiss of me to, it would also feel a bit dishonest for me to get online and be speaking about nutrition the way that, I don't want to sound like I'm not like
No,
other
go
guys,
for it,
but
Pick me.
like, yeah. Pick me. Choose me.
Wait, it's all about me. It's all about me.
And cold hard cash. What was I saying? It would be a bit dishonest of me to kind of make these grandiose claims about nutrition and not mention those kind of things, because they do have such an impact on health outcomes. And I also felt that a lot of the health information that was coming from online was a little bit tone deaf.
Yeah, very.
When it comes to like just capitalism parading as health. And a lot of the health trends that we see online are just kind of displays of wealth. Even like in the US at the minute, I think eggs are like extortionate, but you'll just get all these gym bros that are eating like a ribeye steak and 7 eggs for breakfast. And it's like, that's, sure, it can be part of a healthy diet, but it gets to the point where it's just it's a status symbol more than it is like a symbol of health and wellness. And that also really got to me when, you know, I said that 60% of calories come from ultra processed food, but that is up to like 68% in children that come from a lower socioeconomic background, as opposed to like 62% from children from a high socioeconomic background. Like, people from higher socioeconomic backgrounds are more likely to eat more fruits and vegetables, to eat more fiber, to eat. So it's fine to be talking about optimizing your personal wellness if you have access to healthcare, if you can afford to eat, if you have food security, if you've got a roof over your head. Like, all of these things are part of holistic health. And I do talk about holistic health, but not necessarily the way that other wellness influencers talk about it, as in like, you have to avoid all preservatives and additives, you have to avoid like radiation from your microwave and stuff like that. That's not what holistic health is to me. Holistic health is identifying like socioeconomic barriers to health and addressing those, and kind of giving them a bit more airtime in the nutrition space, because I feel like a lot of wellness influencers don't give it sufficient weight.
Yeah, no.
Don't even consider it.
No.
Bring it up.
No, and like you said, I think the operative
interesting
phrase is tone deaf, which is why I see that motivation in all of the videos of yours that I see. And I think I sent you a video of a very well-known fitness influencer or wellness influencer being like, this is what you shouldn't eat and this is what you should eat in a supermarket. Yeah. And knowing your motivation, I was watching it through that lens as well, but also just thinking about it and not being tone deaf. Everything she said not to eat was more, it was cheaper. Yeah. Everything she said you should replace it with was the premium product, or a very expensive version of the other thing. And I was just like, immediately tone deaf.
And people don't even like, I think it is so ingrained in us that people will say like, oh, this like unhealthy cheap version. Like, it is something that people think that the cheaper version of a food is automatically the unhealthier version. So yeah, it is baked into the psyche, but I also think it's kind of a symptom of your social media is like an echo chamber, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with people of the same socioeconomic status as you, and your followers want that, like, it's not to say that they're doing anything wrong. Maybe they're just providing the information that the people that follow them want to receive. But I just don't see enough people who are highlighting the effects of poverty, and the fact that actually, is the thing with less preservatives that's more expensive and it better for your health, or is having a little bit extra money in your pocket better for your health? Because actually what research shows us is that if you have a little bit of extra money, your health outcomes are usually a little bit better.
Yeah. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, even listening to this is something that I've very fortunately not had to consider in my life, which is, I mean, it's not scary. It's obviously it comes from a huge place of privilege, but it is, yeah, it's so easy to not think that if you haven't had to.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so important to just remind yourself whenever you're watching something. It's
Yeah.
far easier when you see like a expensive pack of sea salt. Like, oh, it's gonna be so good for me. But
Yeah.
that's just the assumption because you've been raised on the fact that this premium stuff is better. When so much of that inequality or inequity is missing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, actually. That's fascinating.
And if that's if you've got, if you're eating all your fruits and vegetables and you're doing your exercise and you've got a roof over your head, like, crack on, like, eat the pink salt. I don't care. Like, but yeah.
Fascinating.
So our listeners, for this episode, we want to talk about sort of decentering food and making food more sort of a neutral space so you can find joy in that food and stuff.
Yeah.
To get there, I think we need to understand the mechanisms that have led us to actually not being there and making problems for food. Why do you think we are so much in a space of demonizing food groups at the moment?
I think that a lot of it's linked to the things I said before, like heuristics, like just having these very easy rules around food that aren't necessarily accurate, but do make your life easier. Like, they simplify things. So if you know seed oil bad and you turn a packet around, there's seed oils in it, or it's just an easy thing that's going to help you make decisions really quickly, because everyone's tired, everyone's making decisions all the time. Nutrition, I like to say it's not complicated, but there's lots of information out there that just makes it more complicated. So I think people are really looking for simple things to make their life easier, to save them time, to save them like cognitive energy. And so I think that demonizing like food groups or ingredients kind of does that. It gives you like an easy way out. It's a scapegoat. It's a magic bullet.
It's a short term.
Yeah, but like I say, it happened in the 90s with fat, and then it happened with sugar, and now it's happening with seed oils, and there'll be something new. And I think I think people get frustrated with that as well, because they think that, I can't eat anything because this was good for me 2 days ago and now it's bad for me. But health advice does take a long time to change if it's coming from a reputable source, because research takes a long time to do.
Of course.
But if your information's coming from a wellness influencer who's just woken up one day and said, actually, don't like the look of that, then if that's where you're getting your information on, then you would think that things are changing all the time, because it is. Like, what wellness influencers are saying is bad for you changes day to day. So I think it's easier to make decisions. It removes that ambiguity as well. It just takes away the nuance, which can simplify nutrition quite a lot. And I think that nutritional advice should be quite simple for people to follow it, but it's being simplified in ways that that don't align with the research.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
How do these influencers then make it sound so convincing? Like, if they do just choose to wake up and spout stuff which hasn't been proven, what is it that makes them so convincing?
It's really interesting. And I think a lot of it's like, they're personable, first of all. Like, influencers they're people that are engaging. They're like, you want to listen to them. Yeah. They've usually, again, going back to this like socioeconomic status thing, maybe they look a way that you like, or they have a physique that you want, or they live in a house that you want, or they drive a car that you want. It's basically marketing. And then I think that what they're saying is kind of twofold. They've got the tone that they're hitting and the actual content of the things that they're saying. So I think the tone is really, it's emotive, and it stokes up emotion, and there's usually no ambiguity. They're not usually like in the center. And I think that's where I have a hard time kind of coming to terms with the fact that science needs to be, it is kind of like nuanced, and there are pros and cons to everything.
100%.
But at the same time, when you get, I think a lot of qualified healthcare professionals, when they get online, they then just don't really pick a side, and it's a little bit too nuanced, in that people are like, well, what do you want me to do? Whereas wellness influencers will pick a side and they'll run with it, and that's what people want to hear. so I try to at least pick a side, but the side being like against wellness influencers, not necessarily like, I'd like to think the advice that I give is very like level-headed and is very balanced, but the stance that I do take is you're lying to people. So that's the kind of hard stance that I take. And then the actual advice, I think, is a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate about your advice is it's more, well, what I interpret it as anyway is it's more like this is how you can understand or how you can spot and how you can learn yourself and see or critique research yourself or find research yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not even really, yes, you're taking a stance of sort of saying you're lying, but in the counter to that, it's not saying, but do this instead. You're saying, but here's the tools you can use as an audience to know that moving forward. So you, in theory, don't really need me.
No,
You should know.
It's empowering.
It's empowering.
Yeah. And I think that's, telling people, what's the thing about fish? Teaching people how to fish.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I never finished that book. I think it's, exactly that. It's just trying to give people the tools. And the goal is like informed decisions, right? Even in my work, like does the patient have capacity? People can have capacity to make what you think is an unwise decision. It's not my job to make anyone's decision for them on the internet or on intensive care. It's you have capacity, you're a grown-up, you're an adult, you have free will. This is the information, do with it what you please. I'm not really, so I appreciate that. I'm glad that comes across.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. I want to sort of ask, like, I think for me, it's also an issue of society. Like you said, in the 90s, there was, what was it, saturated fats or whatever.
Yeah.
I think from a societal level, whether we want to talk, like, it's capitalism or whatever,
my favourite topic.
The food noise has always been a thing. Like Weight Watchers, all of these things, people yo-yo diets, it's a huge part of the Western world is trouble with food being the centre of our lives and being so sort of the orbit to which we sort of move around, which I think is obviously the one of the issues. But what, in the modern world now with influencers, how are you seeing that to impact people? The influencers then getting onto this sort of centre food around your life and perpetuating it. How is that impacting people?
I think if you talk to a lot of people, and I think it affects men too, but it disproportionately affects women. If you ask women in your life who will be like, I've been on a diet since, like, I've been worried about my weight since 8 years old. And it just causes so much stress and anxiety. And I think it does stem from diet culture. Diet culture is kind of now, I think, repackaged as wellness in quite a lot of ways, like healing your gut and balancing your hormones. And a lot of this is just repackaged diet culture. If all these desserts that you want to eat are all like dates dipped in dark chocolate and like sea salt, that's fine. But like, that can't be, if that's all you're eating, if you are still demonizing whole groups of food, if you're still not, eating cake at your birthday, it's just repackaged diet culture. So I think on a personal level, obviously it causes a lot of stress for people. It causes a lot of anxiety around food and can do more harm than good. Like, people are really anxious about eating unhealthy foods and what that will do to their health, at times to the detriment of their own health. And it's just worth, I don't want to like center people's responsibility in this, because I think we all have a responsibility to try and like identify when these things are happening and then dismantle them. But it's horrible for people. It really impacts the relationship with food, with the relationship with their body. And then it also impacts the relationship with other people in their community. And even, I talk a lot about public health and socioeconomic barriers to health. And, when you internalize these thoughts about certain types of food or certain dietary patterns, you then start to internalize your beliefs about people that consume those kind of foods and have those dietary patterns.
Let's get into that one.
You've got finally. You've got food is good, or like, I've been really good, I've not had a biscuit today, or like, I've been eating clean. Like, this might people give me a lot of grief for this because they're like, it's not that deep, but to me everything is that deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's you're moralizing food, you're moralizing choices. If you've got clean food, you've got dirty food. And it's the same way, we talk about lots of things in that way. We moralize lots of behaviors, and if you're moralizing food, you're moralizing eating behaviors that not only you'll think about yourself, but then you will start to think about people that you love and people in your community and people in the world at large.
Wow. I love that you said that. Like I was trying to explain this once to Charlie, and I just didn't have the vernacular to explain it very well about the or intellect. No,
let that one slip.
I'm dummy, dumb.
I couldn't. I just couldn't understand it.
No, so I was trying to talk about the whole. Oh, this is a sweet treat, or this is like the naughty food, and all of those. Like, I'm being my bad, and like, why?
It's a biscuit, my guy.
Yeah.
It's not committed a crime.
Yeah,
you're not being bad.
But even like the language parents use around their children, they say that it's like, oh, you can have a sweet treat on a Friday, and then it's just like immediately making this food group something that's like sweet, so it's therefore like, oh, we should be excited about it, and it's like it's a novel thing, and therefore immediately, I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah,
and on.
There's a lot of. I follow a couple of pediatric dietitians on TikTok and Instagram who do a lot of stuff on that. But yeah, it's as soon as you describe, like, the words that we use matter, and like the words have meaning. That's the whole point of words, is that they carry meaning. And so I think the language we use around food is really important. So I, again, would always be mindful if you see people talking about food like that, or influencers talking about food like that, just to recognize it and see what kind of like picture they're painting of that food, and how they're expecting like you to feel if you consume that food, and how they're painting other people who may consume that food.
That's a fascinating point, because that, as you've just said, that then means that we adopt these views of other people who we can love and who are part of our community, because we've internalized these beliefs that we've been told to believe about X food or Y food.
Yeah.
We then hold these judgments about people that are close to us.
And that's how prejudice and stigma is perpetuated. And it might sound like I'm sure there will be people roll their eyes when I say things like that, but it is one of the things that, if you're demonizing ultra processed foods, and you've got families who aren't food secure, who don't have access to big supermarkets, who don't have a car to drive between supermarkets, who can only afford to eat, I don't know, super noodles or whatever one day. Like, it's not that eating certain kinds of food is not a moral failing, and having a certain type of body is not a moral failing, and being fat is not a moral failing. Like, these are all very loaded things that are perpetuated by the way that we speak about food and certain foods.
I see you've spoken about it, but like the GLP or whatever they are, the Ozempic narrative of like, you're being lazy for just taking Ozempic, but then it's implied like, you said it brilliantly, but it's a similar concept, right? It's putting a moral compass to losing weight through a certain way, or to being
cheating.
fat in the first place.
And it's only cheating if you thought of it as a failure to begin with. Like, so there's a lot of that sentiment in the wellness and nutrition space. So just keep an eye out for it, because it's a little bit insidious.
What you just said there is that's if you've seen it as a failure in the first place, that's when you've seen it as cheating.
Yeah,
because it's such an easy cop out to be like, well, I have to go to the gym, so why don't you? But like that then instantly, as you've just said there, means that, then that means that you feel like you need to go to the gym, and if you don't, you're the one who's failing. Like,
yeah, and it completely ignored. Again, it really a lot of these wellness influencers center personal choice, and don't give any mind to the kind of systems that have facilitated them doing that. So like, we all go to the gym a lot. Like, I do a lot of exercise, I go to the gym a lot, but I've always kind of been athletic. I've never been made to feel unwelcome or unsafe in that kind of space. I've always been encouraged by like even PE teachers from a really young age. I don't have any dependents. I work an 8 to 4 job. I have the time. I have the disposable income. Like, I'm not better than someone else that doesn't go to the gym. So I do choose to go to the gym, but I have all these other systems in my life that facilitate me to make those personal choices. And the choices that you make don't exist in a vacuum. They exist in systems, and like in your socioeconomic status, in your history, and your gender, whatever. All these different things can facilitate or hinder choices, and a healthy choice that one person makes can be an easy choice for that person, and the same healthy choice can be really difficult for another person. So there's value in motivating other people and, you know, getting them to strive towards a goal, but I think it would also be amiss to not mention all these other structural things that can help or hinder people make healthy choices. And I would really like to think that the things I speak about help more people acknowledge those systems. And
these are the same systems that poverty,
Yeah,
capitalism,
totally.
all these things.
And even like
from
going out, like we spoke about
education.
going out for a run at night time, right? That's really easy for us to do as men.
Of course. Yeah.
But like my younger sisters or my friends would be like, well, I can't go for a run through Clapham Common at night. Have you lost your mind? Like, I'm not going to do that. So it's even that, like being able to walk back from work in the winter when it's dark. Like that's a healthy choice that I can make, but I don't also fear for my safety whilst I'm doing it. So it's even things like that. It's just lots of things. I live in an area where I've got supermarkets, easy access. I don't need a car to get there. There's lots of widely available cheap and healthy food there. I don't live in a food desert. I live in a walkable place. There's bike lanes. Like all these different things facilitate healthy decisions that I can make that can improve my health outcomes, that aren't just down to me working harder than anybody else or being better than anybody else.
Yeah. On that, I think
Someone tell a joke. Christ.
Something really funny, quick. Everyone's gonna leave.
I've not laughed in half an hour.
there are ways that we can find joy and
Yes.
make decisions and make choices. You know, even if some certain systems don't permit, there are ways that we can. I guess starting broadly, how can people reconnect with the joy and the joy in their diets and their eating?
Yeah. I think that just really realizing that there is no morality to food. Like, food is food. Food is not toxic, it's not poison, it's not bad, it's not dirty, it's not clean. Like, a biscuit's a biscuit, a slice of cake is a slice of cake. Food is way more than nutrition. It always has been. So it's culture and it's community and it's celebratory, and it's not just to optimize your gut and optimize your kidneys and optimize your liver. Like, food is there to be enjoyed, and it's there to add things to your life as well. So health can be found in abundance is what I say, rather than restriction. So a lot of the health guidelines we have is eat more fruits and vegetables, eat more oily fish, eat more whole grains, eat more fiber. And these are all things, eat more variety of foods. So you can like reframe your dietary patterns and your food behaviors and your beliefs in that way, that you're providing your body something rather than taking away from it. It's not always punishment. It can be reward, it can be celebration, it can be just giving it what it needs.
From a mindset psychological perspective, there's so much gravity to that in all facets of life, and we even spoke about this like on Wednesday. It's shifting from I'm restricting this to I'm adding something to my life. When you focus on what you're adding, the things that maybe you shouldn't have 10 of those biscuits or whatever, fine. But like when you focus on what you are adding, if that's a certain protein shake or a certain fruit group or whatever, when you're adding things, those things that you're taking away have so much less gravity and so much more importance. Speaking from personal experience as well, like when you focus on what you can't have, you think about it more. Like don't think about the elephant. Someone said that to us on Wednesday. Don't think about an elephant.
It's literally in our webinar, Chris was literally saying that he was saying that, for instance, rather than, whether it's even in toxic work culture, rather than thinking, oh, I want to scroll less on my phone or I want to do this less, think, well, I want to read more at night instead. And by reading more, then by proxy, you will be on your phone less. But exactly what you're saying, it actually follows up quite nicely. So what you're saying there is, at least from what I'm gathering, focus so much more on the abundance of what you can have instead of just the restrictive nature. For our listener here today, this may be a bit of a loaded question, but are there then certain indicators to look out for the listener when someone might be pushing a bad narrative of food, certain red flags, certain things that you'd say, hey, listen, this doesn't seem too right?
There's a lot. I think that again, it's so hard because they are so convincing. But I think one of them would be, is this person qualified to be giving this sort of advice? Is a big one. And that's not to say, sometimes I'll say, like in a TikTok, that I'm a registered dietitian, and then people will be in the comments like, that's an appeal to authority fallacy. And shut up. I'm appealing to I'm just like contextualizing the information that I'm giving. But there's a real...
Also, I'm educated.
There's a real distrust, I think, of healthcare professionals, and I think that wellness influencers can really capitalize on that distrust. And, they see the state of public health, and they see that chronic disease incidence is getting worse, and they see that people can't afford to eat healthy foods. And I'm sure they are angry, and that upsets me as well. But the solution to that is not to undermine doctors and dietitians and public health officials and scientists and governments. Like, there's not... I think a big one is the conspiracy theory. I think a lot of information that is in the wellness space is very conspiracy theory-esque. So that's another one too. If they say things like, they don't want us to know this, or they are hiding that, like, who's they? What are you talking about? They're hiding
the hedgehogs in the garden.
Or they did a study. That's my pet peeve. They did a study.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
So many people
explode.
On huge podcasts as well.
They did a study.
Big names say these things.
It's so bad. Like, or scientists did a study. Which scientists?
Yeah.
Who?
Which
Cough
scientists?
up that paper. Go on. Show me.
If they're providing evidence, they should provide like a reference to the evidence. But again, that's really easy to weaponize too, because they could provide a lot of the seed oil bros will use like the Minnesota coronary study, which is like, I don't know, 60 years old at this point, and included like trans fats, which are now like illegal to include in processed food because we know how terrible they are but a lot of people will say that seed oils are bad, and they'll point to this study that was majorly flawed, or they'll point to like an in vitro study where they'll be like, again, they'll be talking about mechanisms, or it'll be an animal study. So it's easy to lie with research, and research is not, a single study is not consensus. It's not the same as consensus. And I think that's another big red flag if influencers kind of position themselves as these like rogue experts that like, I know something that everyone else doesn't know, and like, I'm fighting against the status quo. Like, that's not... The consensus is a good thing. I'm not trying like wake up sheeple, but like consensus is a positive thing. And if you've got people who are trying to convince you that all these other qualified, educated people who have dedicated their lives and career to studying these very specific things are wrong, then that's a big red flag. And sorry, the only other one I'll say, because this got up my goat earlier today as well, I follow someone just for content ideas, like a bad wellness influencer. I've got like a burner account.
Okay.
And I like interact with bad nutrition advice. So I just get fed more of it. So it's like quite good to like get videos to stitch and stuff. But like, people will talk about, there's this guy called like Your Plate Exposed or something. He's this like Scouse guy who just gets on the internet and tells lies about food mainly. But then he starts banging on about like toothpaste, or like this thing in like dish soap, like fairy liquid dish soap, and how like the fumes for it. You cannot be an expert in nutrition and pharmacology and toxicology and medicine and physiotherapy. Like, I will tell you about nutrition in my content, and that's it, because that's my area of expertise. But if you've got a wellness influencer that you follow and they are giving advice on everything under the sun, that's a big red flag to me as well, because you cannot know all that stuff about everything.
That's a really good point.
But the problem is, if you say something with chest and authority, people will follow and listen. And that's why it comes by what you said before, like a lot of healthcare professionals will sit on the fence, and that people don't like that. People want
or say, I don't know.
People want an opinion. So when these people come with an opinion, could be
they're ready to listen.
Fundamentally wrong and just rubbish and absolute nonsense. It's an opinion with chest, so people will be like, "Oh my god!" That's...
And it's not unique to nutrition, is it? Like, I'm sure you'll get it inside. Like, you get it in every field, so it's a bigger problem that I can ever tackle. But
I'm seeing someone at the moment who's going against every single orthodontist in the world and telling nearly 1 million followers about his new approach to
mewing.
His mewing approach, and even the the future king of England has been fallen to the conspiracy of having braces because it's ruined his jawline, and he's fighting against having braces and telling all these people you must fight against having braces.
I thought something similar about your eyes and like the tilt of them or something. And it was like, make sure you do this exercise like with your ears or something to like.
This is like it's like looks maxing.
Maxing.
This is on my burner account as well, so it's weird when you're interacting with these certain types of nutritional information. You get fed other like
1 million people follow it. It's just,
but yeah, different spheres that are like
in their
and like political stuff as well.
Conspiracy central.
So it's just it's
okay. What are some green flags then?
Sorry, green flags.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Green flags, I think, would be they're qualified. That's a big green flag. They provide evidence base to what they're saying, like the claims that they're making. So they provide peer-reviewed references for the claims that they're making. Bonus points if it's high quality.
Meta-analysis.
A meta-analysis or a systematic review or a human randomized control trial. Even more bonus points if it's recent and not from like the 1960s. And also if it, authors will give you like the limitations of their own study, and I think that's a really nice green flag as well. If that they say they not only provide studies to back up their points, but they'll also kind of highlight some limitations of it as well. And they're not hyperbolic. They're not saying this food's going to kill you, or like you'll be in an early grave if you eat this, or like use really emotive language. They're just providing you with information and tools to kind of make your own decisions. And then from a personal thing, they also highlight like systemic barriers to health. They take a more holistic picture when it comes to nutrition. And they don't demonize foods. They don't moralize it. They don't make you feel bad or ashamed. Shame is not an effective intervention for improving health outcomes. Just nice people.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've learned how to sort of identify the red flags, the green flags, sort of look out for this.
Yeah.
For someone listening to this right now and they're thinking, well, what are some tools that I can have, some tangible tips that I can have when I walk away from this or when I stop listening so that I can actually rebuild confidence around the food? Do you have actionable tools for them?
Yeah. I would say
for Marcus, for
whomever. Sí, por favor.
For me. Para mí.
I would say that the things that you can do are to kind of reflect on your own beliefs that you have, and that can be really powerful when you're like eating a certain food, or like just notice the thoughts that you're having when you're thinking about having a food or eating a certain food, or the way that the foods make you feel both like physically and the thoughts that you're having. I think that's a really powerful tool to help people kind of unpick different parts of their diet and their relationship with food that might be a problem. And I think to also just again recognize that there's no morality to food either. It's not good or bad. You're not a good or a bad person. Your diet doesn't say anything about your character. Your body shape doesn't say anything about your character. Just being kind to yourself when it comes to diet and nutrition, and reframing it, as we said before, as like abundance, giving your body what it needs rather than thinking about everything as like a restriction, as things being taken away, as if I eat this food, I am doing damage to my body. Instead, thinking of when I eat, these fruits and vegetables, when I eat these whole grains, when I eat this fiber, when I eat this protein, it's giving my body the nutrition that it needs to work the way that it needs to help me do the things that I want to do.
Bit of a simple one straight from that. Are there certain things that people need to be adding more to their diet as like a real just quick tip?
Oh, yeah. I would say that a lot of my stuff as well is about prioritizing,
of course,
healthy eating. And I think a lot of the priorities are lost in the wellness. So eat more fruits and vegetables is one of the best things that almost everyone can do for their health. Not 82% of adults don't eat 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. Like, it's insane. So eat more fruits and vegetables, and 5 a day is a minimum. So we should be eating at least 5 a day. Generally, the more the better. More fiber. The guideline is 30 grams of fiber per day. Again, about 92% of adults don't meet that recommendation. So more fiber, it's, again, one of the best things that you can do for your health. And it doesn't just help keep you regular. Like different types of fiber are broken down by the bacteria in your gut to produce like things like short chain fatty acids like butyrate, which can help with like blood glucose control and like heart disease risk and all that kind of stuff. So it's much more than just roughage helping things move along. It can feed the bacteria in your gut, and they break it down into really helpful compounds. And more exercise. Anything you can do is, it's obviously not my area of expertise, exercise, but it is, again, fantastic for your health. More movement, cardiovascular exercise, and lifting weights as well. Those are, I'd say, the priorities for a lot of people to do, and really focus on that. Focus on eating more plants, focus on eating more fiber, more fruits and vegetables, and that should be the priority for most people, rather than avoid, like, not using rapeseed oil to bake their vegetables, or using pink Himalayan or Celtic salt. Like, that's not a priority.
Yeah, it's great for me. Like, I always love those more tangible tips, because I'm like, how can I do more or whatever it is. It just really helps me ground.
A bit abstract sometimes, isn't it?
No, it's useful though.
Definitely. Oh, we're coming to an end, which is very sad.
Sorry, I
I don't want to.
I know, I've just so much. We could just keep going on and on.
I feel like it's just been talking at you.
No, it's good.
We can do a part 2 in the new year.
I think a part 2 is definitely owed.
Okay, so we'll take one each. We've got a question for, like, 2 finishing questions, basically, to wrap up. What's one major myth? And then Charlie will do the other. But for me, what's one major myth you want people to leave behind at the end of this episode? You can only choose one.
Only one.
One major myth.
Only one.
Okay.
Sorry, pal.
Okay, yeah.
The chase.
8. That was counted. I'd say one major myth would be that a mechanism is not the same as a clinical outcome. So, as we spoke about before, when someone says that this is bad for you because there's this biochemical pathway in your body, this is proof that this is bad for you. That is not the same as this will reduce your risk of death in the future, or this will reduce your risk of cancer. So, think about clinical outcomes when you are consuming information on the internet, rather than a focus on, like, mechanisms. Does that make any sense to anyone?
It does, I think.
I believe so.
So, for example, using, I don't know, going back to the seed oil example, focus on not what's happening, not that mechanism.
Yeah, because, like, the fact that seed oils are, omega-6 is broken down into this compound that can produce pro-inflammatory compounds. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But we don't see that people who consume more polyunsaturated fat have systemic uncontrolled inflammatory markers. So that's a clinical outcome.
Look at that.
But the mechanism, the kind of petri dish thing, the people that would be doing under a microscope, like, that can be useful, but we care about clinical outcomes, because that's not the only mechanism that exists in the human body. Okay. Your body's very complicated. There's lots of mechanisms. Another one's like anti-nutrients in vegetables, if you've heard about that. So there's compounds in vegetables that are like the plant's defense mechanisms that can bind to certain nutrients and hinder their absorption. That's true. But what we see is that people who eat more vegetables have better health outcomes. So, like, who cares that there's anti-nutrients in these vegetables? Because when you eat more of them, your health outcomes improve. The clinical outcome is an improved health. The mechanistic thing is that there's anti-nutrients in the vegetable. We're talking about mechanisms. Who cares? What's the clinical outcome?
What happens, though, just to challenge that, if the clinical outcome of less seed oils, because there's less processed, ultra-processed foods, is still, it's... Yeah, I think you're trying to understand.
So, like, every clinical outcome will have a mechanism.
Okay.
But not every mechanism will have a clinical outcome.
Got it.
So, like, if we know smoking is bad for you.
Yeah.
And there's lots of mechanisms that explain that.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to go from top down rather than bottom up.
Got it.
I feel like that didn't make.
No, it does. It's just visualizing it to, like, know what to listen to, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also what I take from that also is how complex all of those mechanisms are. So even though that's one mechanism in isolation in the petri dish that's happening, like you say, your body is so sophisticated that all of these things are going on in unison. So something will counteract it, or whatever will go on, or your lifestyle will do something that counteracts it, or anything. So that clinical outcome isn't the clinical outcome.
There's so many confounding factors.
Just that mechanism is not the clinical outcome. This is the main point.
Your body's your body's smart. It's a good thing that what you put in your mouth doesn't change it like that.
Yeah. Your body can like listen to them.
There's lots of different things going on.
Lovely. And my question is really far more simple for the listener. One hope, one thing that you hope that they can carry forward from this podcast episode. One thing that you say, I leave you with this.
I think to just like have a little bit more, not more, just have some discernment when you're consuming information on the internet and challenging the things that you hear, even if it's from qualified healthcare professionals, even if it's things that you like, just people that you like, people that you trust, just really thinking critically about the information that's being provided to you, and not letting health information take too much away from your life. And living a healthy life should be easy and fun and not hard and not too difficult. Have a bit of discernment, and your mental health and your physical health both matter.
Love that.
Thank you very much.
I'm bringing us straight back to the mood booster.
Thank you very much.
That's brilliant.
On that note,
my word. On that note,
mood booster.
Our weekly mood
boosting
boost.
Some mood.
Boosting some moods. We do this. I don't think we actually told James this. Gonna surprise one on you.
Question wasn't sent to me prior.
So crap. Huzzah.
I'm not answering.
No, I'm familiar with it.
Something that we do here, of course, is root everything that we do in the small wins, in the daily joys. What Marcus and I believe is the sort of home of the mood booster is our well-being and joy, and that's often found in the smaller wins in life. So we like to reflect on our weekly mood boost. Something small. It can be, hey, a ladybug landed on you, you got a new house, or you fell asleep on time. Like whatever it is, it's a full spectrum. We have some weekly mood boosts for you here, which I'm very excited to announce. So Marcus, James, we will come to you last. But Marcus, what was your weekly mood boost?
So my friend who came over last night, who I mentioned, I'd not seen for quite some time, she has just started a new role as partnerships director.
Get it right.
Partnerships director? No,
Don't get it
she's
wrong.
She's a director at a charity.
Okay.
I know the word in my brain.
Partnerships.
Partnerships. It's not partnerships, but it's all of the activities. She's the director of all of the partnerships and the activities that the charity is doing. So she's just started that job.
Director
Super
of
proud of her.
activities.
Director. She's worked in the third sector or the charity sector pretty much since finishing uni and doing a master's. So she does a lot for the community, and I'm very proud of her. So congratulations, Money.
Big up, Money. Well done.
Congratulations.
Woot woot.
That's
Very
lovely.
nice.
There you go. What about you?
Thank you for asking. My mood boost, also our housemate, Ross, he was promoted from assistant head to deputy head.
Yeah.
What is entitled with that change in responsibility? Who knows? But that's fantastic. Ross is a teacher at a wonderful school and has been,
Congratulations,
promoted.
Ross.
And we went after dinner.
Ross.
Congratulations, Ross.
I think I'm using his mug.
There you go.
You
I
are.
think so. It says Ross.
Sorry, Ross. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So, James, we bring it on to you. Has there anything that's boosted your mood this week?
My mum flew to the Canary Islands earlier this week, and that is like her second home. And she hates the winter in Scotland. It's like here, but it's worse. And she has gone there, and she just loves it there. She just you're a bit of a
I love the sun.
sunbather, aren't you? Yeah, she would
I
just
love
like
the
chase the sun around the garden. It could be like 8 degrees,
Nice.
and she's just like in the sun.
Love
My
it.
mum's like that as well.
Based mum.
So she's
What's
just
her name?
Viv.
Oh,
Vivian.
Viv.
Vivian. She
Vivian.
prefers
Hope you have a
Vivian.
great time, Vivian.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
Enjoy the Canary
Hi, Mum.
Islands.
Hiya.
Hiya,
Enjoy.
Vivian. Unreal. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of this.
Genuinely, thank you so
Thank you.
much. This has been an unbelievable conversation.
Love it.
I've learned so much, and I think, always trying to approach this with humility and realize
Yes.
that we can all learn so much from this is the most important thing by far.
Hope you all enjoyed it as well.
Yes.
James, where can people find you after this?
You can find me at Brash Nutrition, BRASH Nutrition, on TikTok and Instagram.
Very nice. Or the new email as well.
Oh yeah, or you can email me at hello at brassnutrition.com.
Hello, domain name.
Got my own domain. We're
Brilliant. We're so
huge.
Care to share your burner account as well, or
Absolutely.
Social security.
Yeah. 3 digits on the back of the card and your mother's maiden name.
Your pet's name, your kid.
Viv something? So we're on to something. Anyway,
Unreal.
thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you, boys.
Shall we do some Christmas ASMR? While
I think so. I'll turn it off
Charlie
if you do some
Okay.
Christmas ASMR. Thank you
We
guys.
wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you